Shirley, let me ask you this: who would you say is the MVP of the regular season, and who is the most not MVP, the worst? Whatever. You get my question.
I mean, the MVP of the Packers has got to go to Josh Jacobs. I don't think that's really a question. The biggest letdown. It's tough to pick one. I'm gonna go with Lucas Van Ness. I think he was.
That's a good one. First round draft pick who's supposed to step into a significant role and hasn't yet.
Yeah, and you can say the same. I mean, Rashawn Gary was better down the stretch, but he also was not as good as he's supposed to be.
All righty, let's frickin' go. 2024 regular season is complete. Welcome to the first ever Brotherly Blitz Blitzy Brotherly podcast. We're gonna fix that name later. We're very excited. The first ever show has been sponsored by Sean Aldrich, the life insurance agent out of somewhere in Wisconsin. So that was a terrible sponsor, but we'll get that fixed up. But anyway,
Nick, best office in the state, State Farm, best place to get your auto, your home, your life. Go to Sean Aldrich.
Shout out State Farm.
Yes. Okay, let's jump right into it. We want to start with the youngest of the four brothers, probably the stupidest as well. Truly, the 2024 season, the regular season has just ended. Please give us a couple takes, a little recap. What do you have to start with in the 2024 season?
So I think it was a great season overall for the Packers. I don't know if we exceeded expectations, but I think 11-5 is still a great season after last year. I think some people took a step up, some people didn't. I think the wide receiver core did not take a step up that they should have taken. I think Jordan Love still has a consistency issue that does need to be taken care of, but overall, a great season by the Packers.
Surely that was probably the shittiest my entire life. But
I was going to say at the beginning, worst take possible coming right now.
Hey, can I step in? Because I'm next.
It's really just the pillow.
I actually don't think it was the worst take. At the end of the day, last season was a learning season. We had our expectations very high because we made the playoffs. We won a playoff game. This year, our starting quarterback got hurt week 1. He missed 2 games. He was playing hurt for 6 weeks of the season. Packers are still the youngest team in the NFL. I think we can't complain too much about 11-5. It's just that we're very spoiled. It hasn't looked pretty all the time. The defense has looked better at times. Like Shirley said, the wide receivers did not take that step up we needed them to. But overall, 11-5, 28 out of 32 teams in the NFL would take that every single season. So we can't complain too much about 11-5.
So first of all, what I was saying about Split's take, it was a weak take. It felt like he was like scared to like say something and like whatever, That's how I felt about it. But I will say a couple of things about the season is remember Quinay, you want to go?
No, Mendel, you go right ahead.
So a couple things. First of all, the wide receiver core, we know that's what I originally said in the chat. The first time is they took a huge step the first season, second season, they didn't take that step. But a couple of things also sprinkle in. The number one, the Malik Willis signing at the beginning of the season, the trade, 10 out of 10 trade that Goody did. He won us 3 games, 2.5 games. Fantastic trade by Goody.
He's got notes.
Cooper, 56. What a fantastic star towards the end of the season. And last thing, LaFleur's not in the hot seat, but he's made some dumbo decisions this year. He's not in the hot seat, but he's made some dumb decisions this year. And Maishi, I'm going to pass it on to you because you've actually been quite quiet for a full 2 minutes.
Is this all we have to do? Get Maishi to shut up for 5 minutes?
I am listening to all of you idiots say absolutely nothing of value. The Packers season this year was a good season, not a great season.
Regular season.
Yeah, regular season was a good season, not a great season. There is nobody that from last year, except maybe Tucker Kraft, got better this season than they were at the end of last season. Not a single player on the Packers active roster got better. Rashawn Jacobs Josh Jacobs wasn't on the Packers active roster.
No, but the running back position.
The running back position is better because of a pickup of Josh Jacobs, but there is no player that going through their hot end of last year got better. That includes Jordan Love. Now, Jordan Love played injured for half the season. I'll completely give him that, but he didn't exceed where he ended the season. He actually got a little bit worse. All right. Everybody on the receiving corps did not exceed where they ended the season. Jaden Reed started off hot, but fell off a cliff towards the end of the year. And other than that, Romeo Dobbs, not any better. Bo Melton, almost non-existent all year. All these players didn't get better. Now, they didn't all get significantly worse, but they didn't get better. So there was, I wouldn't necessarily call it a sophomore slump, but I would say there was no significant gain. And about Matt LaFleur, he has made some idiotic decisions. He is still absolutely a top 5 coach in the NFL, without a doubt. And Malik Willis trade was only good because of what Matt LaFleur was able to scheme up for Malik Willis to do. So the fact is,
Listen, I didn't say the first time it happened. I'm saying he made him dumb.
but what I'm saying is the Packers did not exceed expectations by any means. If you were to grade them in the regular season, they have not exceeded expectations by any means.
You can win 2 playoff games in this whole
100%, 100 games. Now,
This is one very important position that you're missing that Packers got significantly better. Well, I wasn't going to say the ticker, but yes, but we're 8 minutes in. We haven't mentioned Josh Jacobs.
okay, we haven't mentioned Josh Jacobs or Xavier McKinney or Williams or Cooper in any of these because we're talking about right now what we said is how are we rating their season overall, and what we're doing is comparing it to last year. Comparing it to last year, all of those are new additions. And by the way, the person on the Packers who gets the most credit out of any person on the Packers is Gutekunst. Think about the best players on our roster right now. Who is the best player on offense? Would you say it's Jordan Love?
Josh Jacobs.
It's Josh Jacobs. It's a pickup in the offseason. Who is our best defender right now? It's either Cooper or Xavier McKinney.
Not down the stretch. It's been Cooper.
It's been Cooper. Both of those players, credit to who in the offseason? It's Goody.
100%.
Goody. In Goody, we trust people, all right? And what we know after this season, after Jair Alexander's is, man, he's becoming the new, oh, God, what's his name, the offensive line? Well, he's become the new Bakhtiari. You know what I know is going to happen next year and what you guys know is going to happen next year? The Packers are about to draft about 4 to 5 cornerbacks in the 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th rounds.
And stick one. I hear that. Srilly, let me
I
ask
do
you
think
a
one more.
question.
I do think one more player that stepped up this year is Keyshawn Nixon. He stepped up into a corner
He
spot.
did. I'll give that to you. That's true. He was not playing a starting cornerback position well, and he played it all year, and he did a good job.
Shirley, let me ask you this: who would you say is the MVP of the regular season, and who is the most not MVP, the worst? Whatever. You get my question.
I mean, the MVP of the Packers has got to go to Josh Jacobs. I don't think that's really a question.
The biggest letdown.
The biggest letdown. It's tough to pick one. I'm gonna go with Lucas Van Ness. I think he was.
That's a good one. It's a good one.
He's a
First round draft pick who is supposed to step into a significant role and hasn't yet.
Yeah, and you can say the same. I mean, Rashawn Gary was better down the stretch, but he also was not as good as he's supposed to be.
Lucas Van Ness was a 13th overall pick. That is a high.
He was 13.
But the Packers draft differently. They don't draft like the Niners did or Detroit did, where they pick up these guys that are NFL ready. They always draft these developed players. Like draft and develop. And that's what everyone said when they picked Lucas Van Ness. He's not NFL ready.
We haven't seen the development yet.
Rashawn Gary didn't break out year 3.
Still got time.
And he's
see.
fallen off a little bit this year. Some would suggest that Rashawn Gary has been a little bit disappointing this season. Yes, he got voting to the Pro Bowl this year, but some would say he would be a disappointment. I don't think I would call him my disappointment. I'm not going to choose one player. I'm going to choose the entire receiving core as the biggest disappointment of the season.
For the record, I'm the one that said this first on the chat exactly 3 days ago. Just for the record, but you go on, Sasky. I see I have a bear there. I see a bear there. What kind of news?
Good job. Good pick. Their entire receiver core, obviously, like you all said, we expected them to step up this year. They didn't. They didn't necessarily take a massive step back, but they just didn't step up. Every week it was somebody else having issues. It was Wicks having the drop problem, Reed having the drop problem, them not being able to get open, them not being on the same page as Love. Overall, they were
Can't be man to man.
I'm sorry?
It can't be man to man.
No, they can't be one-on-one.
Eagles are going to play
Wicks-
man to man next week. That's it.
Wicks beat man-to-man every single time. I think he had like the 6th or 7th highest rating on getting open in the NFL this year. He just couldn't catch the ball.
He's an insane route runner.
He is honestly
They say,
phenomenal.
if you all remember, year 2 Devontae Adams, he was still dropping the ball. He was still dropping the ball. I'm not saying-
if Wicks
can built the same way.
they are very similar.
Adams and the Wiggs.
I
built
think
the same way.
Devontae was a little bit bigger. I think.
No, it's-
He's get the
Devontae-
something like
6'1".
where's the producer in the back? Let's pull the Can you their
They're both
6'1". By the way, Davius Wicks is 6'1", Devontae Adams is 6'1", Justin Jefferson is 6'1". But just the fact that we're putting Davius Wicks in the same center than his get his name right. Exactly. He's a nobody.
Put some respect on his name.
He's a nothing. Anyway,
Yeah,
guys,
that's just it. I don't think he's a nothing. I think that he
you're a nothing.
You see him when he runs his routes, the way he has the potential, he flashes, but his drop level.
His fingers are made of.
He's been very
He's been selling pepper to Blockbuster.
He's been very good as of late. But let's move on. But again, to this playoff game.
Okay.
I'm telling you, Wicks goes for 100 yards against the Eagles.
Okay, I hear it.
Write you down.
Not up to bold takes yet. We're getting there.
Stagny. We're moving on to the next segment. I'm going to start off with a question for the eldest of the for Maishi. So Maishi, relax, Francis. But Maishi, so the first game against the Eagles happened again on Friday. So you were the only one that was able to tune in for the entire game, start to highlights. What do you? First of all, tell us about that game. Not about that game, but what can the Packers learn from that game moving into this game? What are the differences? Speak this.
So if you rewatch that game or if you watch that game, the Packers beat themselves. They actually had more than one opportunity to win that game multiple times. They were in it the entire time. There was never a time where they were out of that game. But on multiple drives, they killed themselves with penalties. They literally ended drives because of penalties. It was also a slip and slide out there on the field. The Packers,
Brazil.
yeah, it was a terrible, terrible game on both sides of the ball. Like Reed had that monster touchdown, but he only got that monster touchdown because the defender went sliding. So, it happened both ways, both sides of the ball. It was a really, really tough game. And the major difference was, a couple major differences, but one of the major differences is we didn't have McManus yet. We had a kicker who couldn't kick a field goal. And that literally right there was a huge difference maker in that game specifically.
Yep.
But also there's so many differences at this point. Cooper was playing like 6 snaps, not able to get anywhere on the field. He would not have been able to, there was Saquon Barkley's going to have a much harder time against Cooper and Walker than he did against Walker and what was it, Wilson out there on the field at the time? Yeah, McFluffy.
All right, in the run.
Is
Walker?
Walker is Quinn
Walker?
Who's gonna play? Walker's gonna
He's likely.
what I think is going to be perfect is going to be so part of the way that they played defense that entire game, if you watched it, is they played a contained defense. They didn't jump at the passer. They kept everything in the pocket and they didn't let Hurts get outside, scramble, or do anything like that, which I think is a good game plan against Jalen Hurts. But now, if you have Walker and Cooper, you have Walker spy or Cooper spy, and the other one just goes heads downfield and takes out the quarterback. I think that their defense is now better prepped to handle them. Now they're missing Jaire Alexander, and there's the one-on-one coverage deficiencies. But getting to the quarterback and prepping against Barkley, I think the defense is more prepared now than they were for game one.
I hear that. Just a couple notes. The Eagles are winners of the last 11 of the last 12 games. The Packers have lost their last 2 against division rivals, and it wasn't pretty. Really.
Last
How is he allowed
we're one
the past 2 games? I'm saying the Eagles are coming.
Actually, we're a fingernail away of being 0-6. Just be record. Let's be
Really, talk to us about coming into the playoffs. Like the Eagles are coming in, winning the past 11 or 12, or the Packers seem to be limping in out of losing the past 2 games in terrible fashion, and division rivals. It's really talk about that.
So I think the idea of momentum when it comes to from week to week is actually non-existent. I think that it's us, the media, that's us bringing that out. I actually think
fucking love it.
I actually think that it's the players, it's week to week. They all know where it's at. I don't know if you guys watched Josh Jacobs said it. He said, I didn't come here to make the playoffs. He said, I came here to win Super Bowls. As Matt LaFleur said in his post-game press conference, which I did watch, he said that the players had some harsh words in the locker room for each other after the game.
People said that.
Yeah.
Well, I like that Matt LaFleur said it.
Matt LaFleur.
The harsh words at Matt LaFleur should be a lot, but 0-0 is what Matt LaFleur said. Everybody's record doesn't matter anymore. It's 0-0 going into the playoffs. And that's truth. That's absolutely true. I mean, the last time the Packers won the Super Bowl, where'd they sit?
The Eagles.
Because there was no 7th seed.
But it was the lowest.
Can't compare because then they were hot going in. They had to win their last few games to get in. They were hot going in. Yes, it looks the same. It's been 1 years on the road versus the Eagles. But last year, that Super Bowl year, they were hot going in.
But anything could happen in the playoffs, and note they should count the Packers out.
It's a brand new season, which is why I also can't compare the Eagles to week 1. Week 1 was a long-ass time ago. Take week 1, throw it out. It's a brand new season. Both teams are much different teams right now.
Bethke, I actually wanted to ask you 2 questions, actually. So number 1 is, who is your number 1 player that must perform during the week? Like, during the game? Who is the number 1 player? Number 2, can you please provide us a bet for the game? Like, just any bet that's your lock bet of the week.
So the bet I'm gonna get to at the end because it's tied to my sleeper on the Packers. I'm gonna get into it. I'm gonna wait for the props to come out. Today's only Tuesday. We don't have those props yet. That already stayed for a few.
I don't know when the recording's doing it. Go ahead.
I'll get to that later at the end of the show. I'm gonna give you my free pick of the week. But your first question, who is the X factor essentially? Who's the most important to perform on the Packers this week in order for the Packers to win? Jordan Love. It's Jordan Love. At the end of the day, it's Jordan Love. Jordan Love needs to come out and perform like he did last year down the stretch and like he did against Dallas on the road week 1 of the playoffs. We haven't seen that version of Jordan Love pretty much all season. There's been spurts.
Testy, why do you think we haven't seen it?
I don't know what the reason is. Something hasn't been clicking. Some's on him, some's on the receivers. There's been times when, yes, the receiver should have caught the ball, but he misses a throw. Packers start off slow. It's not all on Jordan Love, but he needs to come out and ball out. Otherwise, I don't think Packers go into the game. If Jordan Love comes out and plays like he did down the stretch and against Dallas last year, you haven't really seen that much. I think Packers could win this game. It all comes down to Jordan Love.
I think Jordan Love's deficiencies go back to Matt LaFleur. I think that Matt LaFleur has, and now he says he doesn't, worry about Jordan Love and the interceptions, whatever. But what Matt LaFleur has taken away from this team, which was so great at the end of the year last year, was the play action game. He keeps doing this play action from the gun instead of play action from develop the run on the first down, run on the second down, and then play action passes, downfield shots, or middle of the field shots. They're doing that so much less than they did it at the end of last year, and I think that's the position that Jordan Love thrived in more than any other position in the game, is the play action pass.
Yeah, we haven't seen much of it this year.
What was Jordan Love's best game of the season, probably?
One second. From the bye week until week 16, until week 17, Jordan Love was playing great football.
He's playing good football. He wasn't playing great football.
He's playing
Statistically,
Help me four touchdown, 300 yard games that he had.
He loses a lot of touchdowns.
Yes, he was efficient, 100%. Yes, he was efficient. But at the end of the day, the Eagles are going to come with a plan on defense, and that plan is going to be take Josh Jacobs out of the game.
100%. 100%.
Solely focused on
Love
making
Jordan
Love
largely out of the game.
beat you by throwing to Jaden Reed.
And this is where Matt LaFleur needs to come in. Matt LaFleur needs to scheme up the screen passes to Jacobs. Get him involved in the passing. What was that game this year?
So really, your X factor is, I agree with you that it's really the combo of Jordan Love, Matt LaFleur.
100%.
So a couple of things to note, by the way, as we're talking about this. First of all, the Packers' best game of the season was against the Saints. Obviously, we won 30-0. But just let's look at the weather briefly. Saturday, we are light snow in Philly. Sunday, kickoff. It'll be right around 30 degrees. It should be a beautiful Sunday out there. Clear skies, a little cloudy. So, I mean, this is prime quarterback. It's not a dome, but it's not like it's going to be rainy, slick. I mean, it's. I mean, there's no reason. Jordan. Again, I actually agree with you. I agree that they're going to try to shut down Josh Jacobs, and that should open up the passing game. But
Jordan Love cannot play scared. Jordan Love could also not play scared. He has to be willing to take those risks. And I know that he threw those interceptions through the first half of the year, but that's also when he had his best plays. Take your risks, go after them, take your shots, sling the ball, toss it around, get everybody involved. Take your checkdowns. Those are good, but don't take stupid checkdowns that aren't going to get you a couple of yards. If the shot is there, there was an obvious one. I don't remember which. I think it was 2 games ago against Minnesota, where he had Tucker Kraft in the flat, but then he had
And Watley down the line towards the old pylon.
it was 4 reasons he hesitated. That was a touchdown. Was that against?
Play action. We got down. So it was like 4th and 4.
It was a touchdown. It was a touchdown.
I understand that, but it's 4th down. Any other down, you are mad at him for not taking that shot. 4th down, you did the right quarterback play and took the easier, more sure completion. A long deep ball.
Did that drive result in a touchdown?
It did.
It did? Okay.
well, could be you're mixing up. I mean, that was actually in the New Orleans game, by the way. It was not in the Minnesota game. It could be you're referencing another play. But guys, I want to wrap up over here with a couple things very, very quickly. So we're gonna wrap up. Everyone, if you could just give a prediction of the of the score as well as any hot take at all. Sasky, that could be your dumb pick of the week. I'm not dumb, but we'll see how dumb you are. I see stuff for what.
And it's also one of the keys to Packer success. But I even wrote it down just in case somebody else was going to pick my secret X factor or growth.
I mean, so I will say, so Packers, obviously, I'm going to predict the Packers to win, obviously. Take the Packers will win. I am going to go with a 20 6-20 score. Packers win. We should win. Period. And I will say definitely concerning little take of the week is this past week on January 1st there was a terrorist attack in this country that happened in New Orleans. So but what I really think is more interesting, very weird, is the Cybertruck blow up that happened in Vegas. There's a lot of red flags about that. Don't listen to the media. They don't know what they're talking about. Make their own decisions. Look into the story. Lots going on over there. But we're gonna pass it down the line. It's really
So I'm gonna go obviously with the Packers to win. I just think they turn it around. I'm hearing a lot that they're gonna get blown out. They're not gonna get blown out. The Packers are not getting blown out this week. My problem is, are they gonna be able to stop the run and actually shut down Saquon Barkley? Because that's not possible. So they won't do that. The question is, can their offense compete and put up points? And I'm going to take the Packers in a shootout to win 38-35. Brandon McManus will hit a game-winning field goal, and Romeo Doubs will have 2 touchdowns. Who, by the way, Romeo Doubs has been the safest Packers wide receiver all season long.
I like that. I like that.
here, Mark. Ready? Get away.
I'm ready.
All right, because
Number one, what's really said about stopping Saquon, I think if Quay and Coop are both on the field at the same time, Packers can limit Saquon very much. Question is, can the corners shut down Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown or keep them in check? I think the goal should be keep them in check, take Saquon out of the game. Make Jalen Hurts beat you with the arm. That's number one. Number two, I'm also going to go with the Packers. Really? I think it's going to be a high-scoring game. I think it's going to be 31-23. But here's the X factor, and this is someone that not many people have been talking about. Everyone's like, "What did we miss Christian Watson? Missing that speed vertical threat." 2 tight end set. Luke Musgrave, breakout, big-time game. I've got Luke Musgrave going over 100 yards and scoring a touchdown. They're not going to see it coming. Packers have not ran the 2 tight end set. Talk about play action. You know what running a 2 tight end set could do for you? That play action could be a killer. You got Kraft. You got to worry about Kraft and Musgrave and Josh Jacobs. The Packers are going to unleash Luke Musgrave in this game, and he's going to help carry the Packers to a 31-23 victory.
Very nice.
So,
Pesky, we appreciate
I
that.
am more bullish than all of you. I am more bullish than all of you. All right. I think that I'll give you my score first, then I'll explain what's going to happen. 38-28 Packers. Okay. Packers get off to a
That's a 10 score. That's a
10-point game. And by the way, 14 of those points are going to come in the fourth quarter for the Eagles trying to make a comeback. All right. The Packers defense is going to play their freaking butt off, and Jordan Love is going to open up, and my player who is going to have a breakout game and catch the ball is who you all hate, and it's going to be Dontavian Wicks. Dontavian Wicks is going to catch the ball. He's going to get at least 1 touchdown and 100 yards.
I like it. I want to go ahead.
And I am telling you guys, this defense is missing one piece, and that one piece could be Quay Walker and Cooper playing their hearts out in the middle linebacker position.
They haven't been there together.
And with those two and a couple of schemed up blitzes, the Eagles are going to be on their heels all day.
I want to say one thing. As I did hear what you were saying, Moshe, but as you were saying that, I was actually checking the betting apps for Huskies take of the week, and it doesn't even exist on the betting sites. FanDuel doesn't even do the line live. I just want to mention that. I want to say one more thing as well. Regarding the Packers, everyone's like, "Oh, their defense is all good." So Matt LaFleur has been doing this thing where he takes the ball first. If you win the toss and you have faith in your defense, let your defense make a stop, and then give your offense the ball with some confidence.
Really, we appreciate
So I
it.
like the hot start more than I have confidence in the defense. I think
They have confidence in their
That's
defense.
the key to this game. Packers have to start quick.
Again,
I think somebody said, and it might have been really
this whole game going around.
win. But guys, as we close up episode 1, I want to once again thank Sean Aldrich, State Farm Insurance, located at 2121 South Kinnikinnick Avenue, Milwaukee, Wisconsin, 55207. Their phone number is 414-483-3300. Please reach out to them. Hopefully we can do another one of these episodes next week after a victorious win.
Big victory.
I think if we have a victory, we should be doing one post and then probably one on Thursday pre. But I think we're gonna end it here. We appreciate everyone making time in their busy life. You know, I know Hesky specifically was really tough for him to make it. He's got a lot going on. Maishi, I hope you enjoyed your dinner and certainly keep it up. Anyway, guys, thank you very much.
Thank
Pleasure
you.
doing
Thank you
business.
to our host, Mendel. Thank you for hosting. You did great tonight. Shout out State Farm, our sponsorship. Highly recommend. I've got my auto, life, and renters insurance with them. They could do a little bit better on the pricing, but still always recommend State Farm. Excellent customer service. May not be the cheapest, but they do have great customer service. They will not be the cheapest. That I'll tell you.
Fantastic. Thank you, guys. Have a great week ahead. See you next
Go
week.
back, go.
Go Pack, go. We need Evan Williams back too.
Oh, Evan Williams, we didn't even talk about him.
We didn't even get into Adam Williams. We have
There's so much we missed. So much. We'll catch you next week after the victory.
Cheeseheads.